Breaking transfer bombshell, Morgan Rogers to Arsenal. The shock move that could change everything. Hello and welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk, your home for the latest Arsenal transfer news, breaking stories, exclusive updates, and everything happening around our beloved football club. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and become part of our growing Arsenal Daily Talk family. We are building one of the strongest Arsenal communities on YouTube, and your support means everything. Now, Arsenal fans, grab your coffee, sit back, and get ready, because today's story could be one of the biggest transfer bombshells of the summer. Reports are emerging that Arsenal are exploring a sensational move for Aston Villa star Morgan Rogers. Yes, you heard that correctly. Morgan Rogers, one of the most exciting young attacking players in English football, a player who has exploded onto the scene over the last season, a player whose value has skyrocketed, and now a player who could potentially become Mikel Arteta's next major signing. The question Arsenal fans are asking tonight is simple. Could Morgan Rogers really be heading to the Emirates stadium? Let's dive straight into everything we know. For months, Arsenal have been searching for ways to strengthen the squad ahead of another Premier League title challenge. After narrowly missing out on the Championship once again, Mikel Arteta and sporting director Andrea Berta understand that small improvements may not be enough anymore. The club wants game changers. Players who can elevate the team to the next level. Players capable of producing moments of magic. Players capable of winning matches on their own. And Morgan Rogers certainly fits that profile. The England international enjoyed a remarkable campaign with Aston Villa, establishing himself as one of the most dangerous attacking talents in the Premier League. His combination of power, pace, creativity, technical quality and versatility has attracted attention from some of Europe's biggest clubs. But according to reports, Arsenal are among the clubs showing the strongest interest. And when you look at the way Arteta wants his team to play, the links suddenly begin to make a lot of sense. Morgan Rogers is not your typical winger. He is not simply a touchline-hugging player who waits for the ball. He is much more complete than that. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He can operate centrally. He can function as an attacking midfielder. He can carry the ball through pressure. He can create chances. He can score goals. And perhaps most importantly, he possesses the physical attributes required to thrive in the Premier League. Arteta loves players who can operate in multiple positions. We've seen it with Kai Havertz. We've seen it with Leandro Trossard. We've seen it with Declan Rice. Versatility has become one of Arsenal's most important recruitment criteria. Morgan Rogers ticks that box perfectly. Imagine this, Arsenal fans. Picture a front line featuring Bukayo Saka on one side, Gabriel Martinelli on the other, and Morgan Rogers floating between positions, creating chaos for defenders. Suddenly, Arsenal's attack becomes even more unpredictable. Suddenly, opponents have another elite threat to worry about. Suddenly, Arsenal's squad depth reaches another level, and that's exactly why supporters are getting excited about this possibility. Of course, signing Rogers will not be easy. Aston Villa know exactly what they have. They understand that Morgan Rogers is one of the jewels of their project. They know his value. They know his importance, and they know that replacing him would be incredibly difficult. That means any deal would likely require a huge financial package. We're talking about a transfer that could potentially cost tens of millions of pounds, perhaps even more. But Arsenal have shown in recent years that they are willing to spend heavily when the right opportunity arises. Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Ben White. The club has demonstrated a willingness to invest in players they believe can become key pillars of the project. Could Morgan Rogers be next on that list? Many Arsenal supporters believe he could. What makes this story even more intriguing is the player's profile. At just 23 years old, Rogers represents both immediate quality and long-term potential. He's young enough to improve significantly, yet experienced enough to contribute right away. That combination is incredibly rare in today's transfer market. Usually clubs must choose between youth and experience. With Rogers, Arsenal could potentially get both. And that is precisely why the interest appears serious. Let's talk about what Morgan Rogers would actually bring to Arsenal. One of his biggest strengths is his ability to progress the ball. Modern football is increasingly about breaking defensive structures. Teams sit deeper than ever. Finding ways to move the ball through compact defences has become one of the biggest challenges for elite clubs. Morgan Rogers excels in those situations. He loves receiving possession under pressure. He loves driving at defenders, he loves carrying the ball into dangerous areas, and once he gets moving, he becomes extremely difficult to stop. This is the kind of quality Arsenal occasionally lack when facing stubborn low blocks. Too often last season we saw opponents crowd the penalty area and force Arsenal into predictable patterns. A player like ROGERS could offer a different solution. A player capable of creating something out of nothing. A player capable of breaking defensive lines through individual brilliance. And let's not forget his mentality. The rise of Morgan Rogers has not happened by accident. This is a player who has worked relentlessly to reach the top level. After developing through the youth system and overcoming various challenges, he has shown tremendous determination to establish himself as a Premier League star. That mentality is something Arteta values enormously. Trust me, this summer is going to be absolutely incredible. His development has been one of the major success stories of recent seasons. After earning opportunities at senior level and continuing to improve his game, ROGERS has evolved into a player capable of influencing matches consistently. Villa are fully aware of his importance. Any club interested in securing his services would likely need to submit a substantial offer. Financial considerations always play an important role during transfer windows, but clubs are increasingly reluctant to sell elite young talents unless exceptional proposals are presented. That reality could become a major factor in any potential Arsenal pursuit. The transfer market has changed dramatically in recent years. Young players with Premier League experience now command significant valuations. Clubs recognise the scarcity of top-level talent and often seek to protect themselves by offering long-term contracts. ROGERS falls into that category. His age, experience and continued potential make him one of the most attractive attacking players in the English game. That naturally increases both interest and value. Another factor contributing to Arsenal's admiration is ROGERS' playing style. Modern football increasingly rewards players who can progress the ball through individual actions. Against organised defensive structures, technical ability alone is often not enough. Teams require players capable of carrying possession into dangerous areas and forcing defensive mistakes. ROGERS excels in these situations. His combination of physical strength and technical quality allows him to beat opponents in 1-versus-1 situations. He is comfortable receiving possession under pressure and has shown a willingness to take responsibility during important moments. Those qualities align closely with Arsenal's tactical approach. Arteta wants his team to dominate possession while remaining unpredictable in attack. Players who can create numerical advantages through dribbling and movement are highly valued within that system. ROGERS has repeatedly demonstrated his capacity to perform that role. His performances have not gone unnoticed. Supporters have naturally responded with excitement to the possibility of such a signing. The transfer window always generates speculation, but certain names create more discussion than others. Morgan Rogers is one of those players. His profile, age and recent performances make him an attractive option for clubs seeking long-term improvement. Arsenal supporters understand the importance of continuing to strengthen. Competing against the strongest teams in England and Europe requires constant evolution. Standing still is rarely an option. Every successful team eventually reaches a point where additional quality becomes necessary. The challenge lies in identifying players who can genuinely elevate the squad. ROGERS appears to fit many of the requirements Arsenal prioritise. Nevertheless, transfer negotiations are rarely straightforward. Interest does not automatically lead to agreements. Numerous factors influence whether a deal eventually materialises. Transfer fees, contract situations, player preferences, competition from rival clubs and financial considerations all play significant roles. As a result, patience will be required. The coming weeks are expected to provide greater clarity regarding Arsenal's plans. Only time will reveal whether Morgan Rogers eventually becomes an Arsenal player. Until then, the speculation continues, the rumours persist, and the transfer window remains as unpredictable as ever. The story is far from over, and football fans around the world will be watching closely to see what happens next.